We begin our Sunrise Smart Start with a new arraignment happening today. The man arrested after police say he got into a shootout with officers in Northeast Rochester last month.
Let's take you through the case. Charges for 60-year-old Randolph Scott include 5 counts of attempted aggravated murder of an officer. Back on April 15th, police responded to calls about a person shot on Norton Street. They set up a perimeter and tried calling the suspect out of the home. Instead, they say Scott fired a shotgun through a door at officers. One officer returned fire. No one was hit in all this. One officer was injured due to a fall at the scene. Police say they did shoot an aggressive pit bull at the home when they tried to enter. Scott is also facing charges of attempted murder, criminal possession of a weapon, and stolen property.
The young man facing assault and attempted murder charges for a double shooting earlier this week in Rochester is currently being held without bail. Police say early Wednesday morning, 18-year-old Michael Garcia shot a 36-year-old man 7 times and then unintentionally hit a 17-year-old girl in the head who was inside of a home on Alphonse Street. That stray bullet there. Now, court documents state the teen did suffer a traumatic brain injury from that stray. Investigators say that as they secured the scene, they quickly found the suspect's vehicle, sending out a county-wide alert. That led police and SWAT to an apartment on North Main Street in Brockport, where they searched the home, detaining several people, as we showed you there. Police also say Garcia and others went to the house on Alphonse Street initially to retaliate for an earlier conflict. Garcia pled not guilty during his arraignment yesterday.
Rochester's Police Accountability Board is weighing its future following a ruling from a state Supreme Court judge this week. This order blocks the agency from investigating RPD misconduct complaints.
We did check in at last night's board meeting where Dr. Leslie Myers-Small, the executive director for the PAB, did tell us that her staff, they are already in the process of following that judge's order by immediately discontinuing any and all panel review hearings and investigations regarding individual officer misconduct. Meanwhile, the Locust Club, which is that union that represents these officers, applauded the judge's decision in its favor, writing in part, quote, "We have known for many years that the PAB's activities were outside of its statutory authority. The decision reflects that reality," end quote. However, PAB members who are appointed by the mayor and city council still argue that a majority of Rochester voters are in favor of the group's investigatory powers, having received that mandate in a 2019 vote following several high-profile incidents of police misconduct.
The citizens voted us in because the old system did not work. And the reason the old system did not work was because there was no transparency.
I think there may be a misperception that the Police Accountability Board and agency and alliance are against the police department, and that could be, nothing could be further from the truth.
The board held a private executive session to discuss legal options, and a spokesperson for the mayor's office further says they are still reviewing the judge's order.
To a story new for you this Friday morning, a photojournalism professor at RIT just got a grant for her work that does a deep dive into her ancestral ties to slavery.
Aaron Spitzer was able to speak with her about the project and got an inside look at the photos she uses to tell this story. Aaron.
Yeah, guys, Meredith Davenport got that funding from the 1492-1619 American Aftermaths Grant Support. It's for $25,000, and she'll use the money to travel back to Louisiana, where her ancestors had a cotton plantation. The decades-long project is a collection of historical research, photography, poetry, and fine art used to explore her family's role in enslavement dating back to the late 1700s. She believes her family owned hundreds of slaves, and although working on this strained her relationship with her loved ones, especially her father, she felt like working on the project and addressing her ties to slavery could be a healing experience. Through this, she learned she has black cousins, and she connected them with white cousins in Louisiana, and now they stay in contact. Now, although that's touching, Davenport says this project is more than connecting with family.
I'm interested in the stories as vehicles to think about how we think about race, not necessarily as sort of the escapades of my ancestors. Like, I'm not in, those are fun, but they're not what I'm interested in this work. So I'm also interested, having grown up going back and forth between the North and the South, in the way that racism is coded in each area. And so for me, I'm trying to find stories in the North that talk about the coded nature of the way race racism manifests itself here.
Davenport has worked with the New York Times, National Geographic, and HBO. So taking on very personal project is a big deal for her. Now that she has explored her history in the South, as she said, she wants to move on to the North and learn whether one of her ancestors was a captain of a ship as part of the slave trade. Guys.
What a story, and the findings so far, Ron. Thanks. All right, let's go back to April 22nd, 1997. The Amerks beat Syracuse 3-2, completing a first-round sweep of the Crunch in that series. Let's go forward 28 years, 5 playoff matchups later, and this summer, Rochester with another chance to complete the sweep of the Crunch again. Devin Levi, off the first playoff shutout of his career, was pretty great. We'll have much more where that came from. Early on, you'll see a little mess here in front of him as he cleans that up. A clean shot as well right here. No problem for him. He was great in net. Still scoreless late in the first. Mason Jopes on the break. Somehow this one goes in. So we see the crowded view there from Syracuse. 1-0. Rochester after 1. Same score in the third. Clegg from the point. On that series, looking like Alex Ovechkin. Third straight playoff game for him with a goal. That would make it 2-0. Still in the third, Zach Metza from the point. Jopes gets the tip. Amerks go up 3. They would add another one. Devin Levi gets a shutout, 30 saves out on the night, has not given up a goal in nearly 160 minutes of playtime. Amerks win 4-0, sweep the series. They're moving on to the North Division Finals in this year's Calder Cup playoffs, awaiting the winner of Laval and Cleveland in their series. Final sunrise traffic, good to go across the main expressways, looking just fine. No heavy slowdowns. We'll be checking that again during CBS Mornings at 7:25. Greater Rock Sky Eye, see some clouds, and it's warm out, James.
Yeah, very mild 60s for you. We stay generally in the 60s, just to the low 70s this afternoon. There'll be some sun mixed in there, and outside of an isolated shower, better chances in the Finger Lakes. Most of the day is dry, but cannot say that for the weekend. Showers coming in early Saturday, lasting for a lot of the morning, maybe a little bit of break in the afternoon, and then just off and on rain for the next several days here. And those numbers, those high temperatures, might have to even lower those as it looks like a cool flow. For what it's worth, let's get it out of the way now before the Lilac Festival kicks off.
Yes, yeah, and we'll see if we can have a decent weekend for 2 days coming up a week from now. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather.